My journey to faith began when I agreed to attend a special church service. The speaker talked about sin. I'd often wondered why I'd thought and behaved the way I did sometimes. And what he said made sense. I was a sinner. He said sinners need a saviour, Jesus Christ, and asked whether anyone wanted to know him personally. I'd heard enough about Jesus Christ as a child to think, well, if it was possible to know him personally, who wouldn't want it? I certainly did. But I was also thinking, am I just being gullible? I need to be careful here. I was given a paperback copy of part of the Bible, John's Gospel, and at home I read it over and over again. I was so impressed what I read there about Jesus Christ, how powerful, wise and courageous he was. I had many questions, so I started to attend a local Bible-believing church, and I was hearing there what I'd heard at the special service, that Jesus Christ was the true Son of God, who'd come to earth as a man, died on the cross, and risen again to save his people from their sins. But was it really possible that he'd risen from the dead? I was sceptical. Wasn't it just wishful thinking on the part of his followers? Weren't they hallucinating or something? I'd started to read books about the Bible, as well as the Bible itself, and one of them set out convincing evidence that the resurrection really had happened in history, just as the Bible said it had. So was I going to hang on to my scepticism, or believe the evidence and trust the Bible? The evidence was compelling, and I knew the Bible was true. But could Jesus Christ really be known personally today? Wasn't that just fanciful? The church had a Bible study group which met in a house near ours. I was made welcome there. They spoke about their faith, and I began to see that they did seem to know Jesus Christ in a personal way. He was their saviour. But those were difficult days. The more I read the Bible for myself, the more I realised how much I'd offended God. I was so glad when I first realised there was a God after all, but now I wondered where I stood with him as an unforgiven sinner. I started to tell God how sorry I was. Then something wonderful happened. The church held a special prayer meeting, and as they prayed, I became powerfully aware that my sins had been forgiven because of Jesus Christ. Now he was my saviour too. Tears flowed. But there was no fuss, just a quiet reassurance that this was a normal part of the Christian life. It was the beginning of a new life, of getting to know God more and more through the Bible, through prayer, and experience of his goodness.